Good day everyone. We are the group 3 and we will discuss about the history of the Manila Cathedral. Here are the table of contents. First is the timeline, second is the construction methodology, third is the possible deteriorations, fourth is the existing deteriorations, and lastly is the possible solutions. First, let's talk about the timeline of the Manila Cathedral. In 1581, the first cathedral was built using bamboo and palm trees, but it was seriously damaged during a typhoon in 1582, and in 1583, it was destroyed in a fire. In 1591, the second cathedral was built using adobe, but it collapsed in 1600 during an earthquake which almost completely destroyed the cathedral. In 1614, the third cathedral was also made of adobe, but in 1645, it suffered from an earthquake. In 1667, the fourth adobe cathedral was erected on the territory of Intramuros. There were repairs done on the complex due to the deterioration of the woodworks caused by rain. In 1747, the fifth cathedral was reconstructed to avoid future defects. In 1852, an earthquake damaged and destroyed churches and other edifices in Manila, leaving the main facade and other areas of the cathedral in severe condition. In 1858, the sixth cathedral possessed an entirely new facade. Pediments and columns framing the side portals were removed as well as the Baroque moldings framing the high windows over these doorways. Manila Cathedral stood for almost 2 centuries, but in 1863, it was seriously damaged by another earthquake. In 1872, the seventh cathedral lived closely to the original plan, but in 1880, the cathedral fell again to another earthquake. The cathedral would remain without a bell tower for many years, until it was severely damaged during the Battle of Manila in 1945. Only the shell of the last cathedral remained after the war. In 1954, the eighth cathedral rose phoenix-like from the desolate ruins of the old cathedral. It was built on the same site using concrete and salvaged adobe blocks from the war-torn convent of Nuestra Señora de Gracia, located in Guadalupe Viejo, Makati City. These are the construction methods for adobe stone that they came up with for the 2017 reconstruction of the Manila Cathedral, because it had been continuously destroyed by natural calamities. Prior to any alteration, an extensive record of the current external condition was established using archival research and building morphology documentation, so that the experts will have a foundation if future renovation is required. Physical tests were also conducted to compare the strength and other characteristics of the intended new material with the existing one. Lastly, trials of the restoration methods were conducted to monitor the behavior of the chemicals and materials that would really be used in the restoration. These four methods are crucial because it helps us to avoid any construction constraints and risks while preserving the heritage site. This was also helpful in determining the necessary treatments to appropriately protect the heritage.
Deterioration of the Manila Cathedral are cracking, biocolonization, and discoloration. For cracking, cracking in adobe stone refers to the development of fractures, fissures on the surface within the material itself. It is a significant concern for historical structures like the Manila Cathedral, since cracks were already observed in the cathedral, and there is a notable period of assessment occurred from 2014 to 2017. So, cracking can result from several factors, including structural settling, So over time, the building's foundation may settle and may cause stress and cracks in the adobe walls. Another is temperature. Since Philippines is a tropical country, repeated cycles of heating and cooling may lead to expansion and contraction. The second one is biocolonization. Biocolonization involves the growth and colonization of microorganisms such as algae, lichen, and fungi on the surface of adobe stone. So yung causes niya is weathering, which is the microorganism produce organic acids that can chemically break down the stone surface, leading to erosion and degradation. Another is staining. As these organisms grow and reproduce, they create unsightly stains and discoloration on the stone surface, diminishing the cathedral's visual appeal. The third one is discoloration. It refers to alteration of the stone's original color and can result from various factors. And the factors are the environment or the pollution. It the airborne pollutants can settle on the stone surface, causing staining and color changes. Another is the biological growth. As discussed earlier, the growth of microorganisms can lead to staining and discoloration. Discoloration not only affects the visual of the facade of the cathedral, but it may also suggest a underlying deterioration issues, and it can serve as an early warning sign that preservation efforts are required to protect the adobe stone.
These are the existing deteriorations that we saw in the Manila Cathedral. First is the discoloration that can be seen on the facade. Second is the plant growth and molds that can be seen on the upper portion of the facade.
For the possible solutions to address the existing deteriorations of the Manila Cathedral, which include solutions for molds, plant growth, and discolorations, are based on the case study research conducted during the restoration of the cathedral's adobe stone. In the case study, it is said that plants were present on the upper portion of the facade. These were manually pulled out since the roots do not penetrate the substrate deeply, and the moss were removed modulated water pressure jet spray. For the removal of yellowish brown stain on the northwest facade, brown coat on the middle part of the facade was where the inorganic coloring substance was sprayed some years ago to provide lighter coloring and be blended with the original adobe in the facade. It was predominant. It was removed using water jet spray and brushes. The latter was used by the workers to clean the recessing arches on top of each northwest doors and the lower portion of the cathedral. So that's all for Manila Cathedral. Thank you for listening.